We have breaking news to tell you about right now out of Long Beach, where deputies are in pursuit of a carjacking suspect.
Yeah, as you can see, this is happening live. Let's go upstairs to Stu Mundell and Sky 9 with the very latest. Stu, what's going on?
Well, it's a pretty slow speed pursuit for the most part. You can see that pickup right there. Now, they're saying there's a carjacking suspect. He's armed with a knife. Now, he took this vehicle from the Compton area earlier on. Sheriff's Department picked this vehicle up. It's been in pursuit for about, I'd say 30 to 40 minutes now. It's been up in the Los Angeles area, South LA, Watts area. Now we are basically southbound on Long Beach Boulevard, but we're still north of the 105 freeway. Just moments before we went live, this car was creating a little havoc there. Kind of got boxed in. This was the most activity we had heard on this pursuit for a while. Basically, he had bumped into a sheriff's unit, or actually tried to push a sheriff's unit out of the way. Now, that kind of activity could be considered as deadly force, seeing how that is a vehicle. Now, those deputies were not out of their vehicle. It was a vehicle-to-vehicle contact. But right now, the Sheriff's Department's still chasing this car right here. You can see some people standing out in the street right there, making gestures towards these officers, towards that vehicle. What's going on right there is spike strips. He did run them over right there and drove through a gas station. He might get blocked in. These kind of moves are a little bit dangerous. And then you have all these pedestrians in this area. I'm going to get you the name of the street just here in a minute.
Yeah, that
This is westbound Tweedy from Long Beach. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Stu, that police officer is rapidly closing in on him, at least at that point in time as he went into the gas station. So with the deadly force there, with a knife and a carjacking suspect, you got to think that they're not going to back off on this guy.
No, they're definitely not going to back off on this guy. Sheriff's Department, actually, their policies are a little less stringent than LAPD. They've kind of will just let a pursuit go, especially if they know where these suspects live. This is a carjacking person. This person has a knife. Then he ran into a police vehicle. So they are definitely want to bring this to an end. They were just using the spike strips right there, and he did seem like they pulled that rope just in the nick of time. I know the vehicle ran over the spike strips. It's never clear if those spike strips were effective or not. Sometimes that long piece that you see will lay on its side. The car will drive over it, snap off some of those spike strips, and they will not be effective. Right now, it's kind of a watching game. You can see that vehicle. I don't know why he has his hazards on. Right now, he's slowing down again as we're coming up on a light. We've got some traffic. So we're up on Alameda again. This is an area, you can see these officers just up ahead. They got those spike strips ready, but they got a big rig in the way right there. Now he's driving on the sidewalk to get around those guys. Don't know if he ever even saw them right there. Sheriff's Department really making a run for it right there. That deputy pretty frustrated. You know, it can be a little amusing to watch sometimes, but you always got to understand these things could end very, very badly. So we don't want to get too light with it, but that one deputy really putting his heart and soul into it, running with those spike strips, trying to get ahead of that pickup truck. Now, the stolen vehicle, carjacking suspect out of the Compton area with a knife. He had a knife earlier on, so it's not a gun, but still an armed suspect. Nevertheless, this person was willing to pull a knife on somebody to get a vehicle. That means he's dangerous, he's desperate. Deputies want to bring this to an end. You can see some flashing lights right there. Wasn't clear what that was about. But right now, Sheriff's Department in pursuit. This is going to be Century Sheriffs. We're working our way northbound on Alameda right now, working our way towards the downtown area, probably just on the edge of the LAPD. I'm wondering if LAPD is going to go ahead and get into this pursuit or not. Right now, though, it's all sheriffs, and they want to bring this car to a stop quickly.
And Stu, any more word or information about the carjacking itself or the victim?
You know, we just got the basic information. I would believe they would say kidnapping if the driver or anybody was still inside.
Yeah, actually doing a right-hand signal. It's a make a turn, but yet they go through red lights. Yeah. So this is a live look at a pursuit that started in Long Beach and started about a half hour ago. Went through South LA and Watts as well. Speed's about 35 to 40 miles per hour, Susie. We understand that this is a carjacked suspect who took that Toyota pickup truck with that topper on it at the hands of the driver with a knife.
That's right. This is happening out of Compton originally, and as you saw earlier, Jeff, some dramatic pictures we saw with the driver going over some spike strips. That first one seemed to have worked, and that's why he's probably driving on one or three tires right now. And then after that, there was a second attempt by deputies, but he went up on the sidewalk, or the driver did, went up on the sidewalk and went around a semi-truck that was actually in the deputy's way, and somehow those deputies were joined on the spot. They got right behind him once again when I thought actually that they weren't going to be able to catch up with him.
Yeah, actually he went, or at least this driver, we think it might be a female, we don't know yet, we haven't identified it, but that driver actually took a pretty evasive move through a gas station as well as people were filling up their cars, and that was just at the beginning here of this pursuit that started just about 30 minutes or so ago. And you got to understand that once the stop sticks have been deployed, they run over at least one wheel, that will slow this vehicle down quite a bit.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, we're probably going to be seeing sparks here pretty soon, which is
Huntington
what we
Park,
typically
Florence.
see. Okay, looks
Florence
like
and
you're in
Huntington Park.
Okay, in Huntington Park area. Stu, you mentioned it started 30 minutes ago. Was he on the freeways earlier, you mentioned?
No, he never got on the freeways. And, I was listening in, and you guys were talking about, the 3 tires, and then, it could slow the vehicle down. It probably will, but it also is going to deter the ability of the vehicle to maneuver properly. And these people, usually we're just assuming, it's just a general statement, that the driver of that vehicle probably not trained for this type of driving. So now he's got down to 3 tires right now, and the vehicle is going to have a little less maneuverability. It's going to function much differently than you would expect, especially at a high speed or making a quick turn. So it just kind of adds to the danger to this situation. Speeds may be a little bit slower, that's for sure. This vehicle never really went over 40 miles an hour, but he's continuing on now. Florence, we're definitely going to be into the Huntington Park area right now. Sheriff's Department not giving that up to any other agencies. They have their helicopter overhead. They've got their units behind it. We've been in the LA Potts was one of the areas where we were in earlier. Looks like she's in the left turn lane, but sliding back over again. Now we're starting to see some of those sparks. What's going on is she's giving gas, and that steel wheel is just spinning when she's giving gas like that. That's going to create a lot of other problems as well. Right now, though, this pursuit's going to continue on. It's speeding up. We just heard them say about 50 miles an hour out here on Florence with 3 tires. A lot of traffic. It's going to get a little bit more dangerous. Hopefully, anybody in the area will see this coming and get out of the way. The driver seems a little agitated. See her moving around in there, kind of doing some stuff. Doing what she needs to do.
Spike strip, and Susan, we understand that this suspect used a knife to carjack that Toyota truck, which is the one you see there with the topper on it. And at one point in time, look at the 4th of July, because the wheel and the rim was hitting the road and sparks were going everywhere.
And Jeff, obviously this driver, no care whatsoever for these deputies or for the public in general. Stu was mentioning at one point, we didn't see it, but our viewers didn't see it, but we were saying that he actually pushed a sheriff deputy vehicle to try to get them out of the way, which is a very dangerous maneuver in itself.
And that's very key, because that shows deadly force if you bump into a police officer's vehicle. And that on top of the fact that individual used a knife to get this car, this is going to be one of those things where the police officers are going to go in there pretty aggressively when this vehicle finally stops. They're going to be looking at this as somebody who has a deadly weapon.
That's right.
And this continues live here on KCAL 9 as this pickup truck is with a carjacking suspect behind the wheel.
Said about 25 miles an hour. When she floored it, she was going about 25 miles an hour. So that truck really starting to show some signs of wear here, getting around, just getting into traffic. And you can see these people, they just want to get out of the way. They don't want any part of this, as they probably should. Look at all those sparks, though. That is something to see. So still more sparks. We're going to get the name of the street they turned on right now. I believe Wilmington.
Well, not only is she...
Bicycle...
I was just going to say, Stu,
we're going inside the Bicycle Casino right now.
Oh, I was going to say that she's starting to lose control of the vehicle, too. You can imagine with only 3 wheels and that one wheel down to the rims, it's sparking, that she's probably losing a lot of the ability to drive. As she's heading into a... this has got to be a way... I can't imagine that she could get... Can't imagine that she could get out of this parking lot.
It's a huge parking lot there at the Bicycle Casino, Jeff, and I hope there's no one out there actually walking around, because this could be very dangerous.
But at the same time, I can't. If you get into a parking lot like that, is there an easy access out, Stu?
This is a very large area, very large complex. I was thinking maybe she was going to go try to valet it and just run inside the casino. You can see the officers, though, when those doors pop open, they've got reason to believe that this is going to be coming to an end. They're getting ready to pounce. They're getting ready to get out there and do what they need to do. Just kind of a large area right now. She's going to box herself in. You can see other deputies basically making it so that she can't get in. She's been in spots before where she tried to push her way out, but right now, it definitely seeing hands up inside that vehicle, came to a stop out there. You can see these deputies out there with their weapons drawn. These guys not playing around. That window was down, so I'm wondering if she's going to roll it down the window to get some directions. You know it's pretty simple to get out of the vehicle, shut off the engine, get out of that vehicle, the position. Right now, though, just a lot of yelling, a lot of motioning, but we haven't seen this person give up yet. Armed with a knife, you know, knives can be very, very dangerous. I had a long talk with an officer about that a couple of weeks ago. Right now,
Situation because this person took over that vehicle with a knife and is a carjacking suspect, and so police officers, of course, you see about a dozen sheriff's deputies, so they're going in with a lot of force as well.
That's right.
As that individual's now getting down on her knees and looks like they're going to handcuff her right there.
Yeah, this all started in Compton this evening with a carjacking, and it went into South LA, into the Watts area, Huntington Park, and now this is where it ends in Bell Gardens tonight at the Bicycle Casino in the parking lot there. Really surprising, actually, how far she got actually with just 3 tires, Jeff.
Yeah, in fact, it was pretty textbook that they were able to throw out the stop sticks, and then she ran over right there. You see in the bigger box, the earlier box there. Then there was a second attempt, and you could really see the desperation in the officers as they're trying to watch as he tries to throw it in a desperation to get that stop stick under the vehicle. And you know this is an individual who stole this car aggressively with a knife and actually hit a police cruiser, so officers really desperate to try to get this taken under control, and her luck run out at the Bicycle Casino, which was a good thing because it doesn't appear that anybody else was injured.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see the sparks, as you see on the right side of your screen, coming out of her car multiple times. Like I said, amazing that she even got this far into the Bell Gardens area to even have sheriff's deputies stop her there, but it looks like this is all coming to an end tonight in Bell Gardens, with a carjacking suspect under arrest.
You could almost say that this was a good training video that they could go to, months and weeks and years from now as a way to actually stop a pursuit, because they got those stop sticks out there.
Two attempts actually, but the first one is the one that worked actually.
And that slowed that individual down. They took her into custody. Nobody else was injured. There wasn't a standoff. It didn't appear that any other vehicles were damaged. We do know that she did run into a police car, but that's all in all a pretty good day for the officers, and that suspect is now going to be spending the night in jail.
That's right. This is all coming to an end again in Bell Gardens, in the parking lot of the Bicycle Casino, and multiple deputies were chasing this individual, and looks like she's getting into the back of the patrol car now.
How odd is it that it's a woman? You don't really see women in pursuits that often.
It's not too often, actually. Yeah.
As we continue to follow this story here, we're going to